central main branch. All issuing branches, for the political parties, there are only 24. Actually, there are 4. But insofar as the purchasers are concerned, everything has been remitted back to the Mumbai Central Main Branch.
We have that.
Therefore, it's very clear that every time somebody made a purchase, a KYC was mandated. There is one set of documents, namely the electoral bond application form, KYC documents, citizenship documents, and pay-in slips.
Manoj, there's no issue. We have the details. Please don't misunderstand me.
Therefore, you have the details.
No, I have the details. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's not there.
Yes.
Manoj, I appear for the State Bank.
Yes.
And Manoj, we need a little more time to comply with your Lordship's order. If your Lordship is pleased to turn to page 76 of my application, Manoj. Your Lordship will find the operative order set out.
That will be, yes, that's right.
Para 221.
Right.
Where my Lord said that in view of the discussion, the following directions are issued. The issuing bank shall herewith stop issuance of electoral bonds. Well, that's been done. State Bank of India shall submit details of electoral bonds purchased since the interim order of the court of 12th April 2019 till date to the ECI. Yeah. The details shall include the date of purchase of each electoral bond. That is no problem. The name of the purchaser of the bond and the denomination of the electoral bond purchased. The SBI shall submit details of political parties which have received contribution through the electoral bonds since the interim order of the court of 12th April till the date to the ECI. That should be no problem. SBI must disclose details of each electoral bond encashed by the political parties, which will include date of encashment and denomination of encashment of each bond. The only problem which we are now trying to collate the information and create is because we are having to actually reverse a whole process. The standard operating process we had put in made sure that there was no connection between the name of the purchaser in our core banking system and the bond number. Because we as the bank were told that this is supposed to be secret. Now, if a handful of people also within the bank had access to this is the kind of information which would have leaked. So,
Salve,
yes.
If you see your application,
yes,
if we start at para 10, paras 10 to 14 of your application are the key to your application.
Lordship, please.
What you say in para 10 is that it is submitted that donor details were kept. I'm sorry, just give me a moment. You have it? That's application. It is submitted that donor details were kept in a sealed cover at the designated branch, and all such sealed covers were deposited in the main branch of the applicant bank, which is located in Mumbai.
Yes, sir.
On the other end, each political party was required to maintain a designated account in any of the 29 authorized branches. It was only in this account that electoral bonds received by that party could be deposited and redeemed. At the time of redemption, the original bond, the pay-in slip, would be stored in a sealed cover and sent to the SBI Mumbai main branch. So what you are saying is that donor details were all sent to the SBI main branch. Redemption details were all sent to the the same branch, the SBI Central Main Branch in Mumbai.
Yes.
Now 12. It can thus be noted that both sets of information were being stored independently of each other. Thus, to rematch them would be a task requiring significant amount of effort. In order to make available donor information, the date of issue of each bond will have to be checked and matched against the date of purchase by a particular donor. This exercise would only deal with the first silo of information. These bonds were redeemed by political parties in their designated bank accounts. Accordingly, this information would then have to be matched against the bond redemption information that makes up the second silo. It is submitted that the retrieval of information from each silo and the procedure of matching the information of one silo to the other would be a time-consuming exercise. The details are stored separately. Some of the details, such as bonds number, are stored digitally, while the other sets of details, such as name of purchaser, KYC, are stored physically. The purpose of not storing all details digitally was to ensure that it cannot be gathered easily to achieve the object of the scheme. And then finally, para 14. In that regard, it is further submitted that this court has directed for making public the donor information from the date of its interim order, 12th April 19, to the date of the judgment. In that time, 22,217 electoral bonds were used for making donations to various political parties. Redeemed bonds were deposited to Mumbai main branch by the authorized branches at the end of each phase in sealed envelopes. Coupled with the fact that two different information silos existed, this would mean that a total of 44,434 information set would have to be decoded, compiled, and compared. Now, if you see the directions which we have issued at page 76,
My lord.
we have not told you to do the matching exercise. We have asked you for a plain disclosure. Therefore, the ground on which you seek an extension of time to make the disclosure does not accord with the directions in the judgment at all. The judgment doesn't tell you to do that
No, my
exercise.
lord, I'll tell my lord what we understand. If that is not so, then of course there's no problem. If your lordship is pleased to turn to para 221.
But then you simply comply with the judgment.
No, please turn to para 221. Your lordship's judgment?
Page 76, right?
76, yes. SBI shall submit details of electoral bonds purchased since the interim order of the court. Well, no problem. No problem. The details shall include the date of purchase of each electoral bond, the name of the purchaser of the bond, and the denomination of the electoral bond purchase. Now, my lord, when the purchases were happening, we divided the information. The name is kept at one place and the purchase is recorded at another place.
But ultimately, everything was sent to the Mumbai Central main branch. All issuing branches for the political parties, there are only 24. Actually, there are 4. But insofar as the purchasers are concerned, everything has been remitted back to the Mumbai Central main branch.
Except, I'm sorry, my lord. Your lordship is right. It is not kept at one place because the reason, if your lordship just see then earlier para, my lord was pleased to see para 10. If your lordship just sees para 5 and 7, that's why the problem has arisen in this case. Para 5 said central government framed the electoral bond scheme, which provided that the information furnished by the buyer shall be treated as confidential and the bank shall not be disclosed by any authority for any purpose. Now, my lord, we knew this is sensitive information, so a physical procedure was devised. You sort of did a KYC and you kept the name in that. And once that was cleared, then only the bond number was cleared, and then the bond number was used for further purchases. The money came to people who didn't know who the money was, who the real name of the purchaser. They just knew this was a cleared account, so it came into a bond payment account, and from the bond payment account it was given. And it was done precisely, Manoj, to prevent this kind of gossip coming out saying so-and-so has purchased so much. Now, Manoj, para 7, if you see the SOP, because this is not something we've done now, Manoj, this is the original SOP, said no detail.
Ultimately, even your FAQs, which were shown to us during the course of the hearing,
Yes.
the FAQs indicate that for every purchase, you have to have a separate KYC.
Yes, we have that. We have that.
Therefore, it's very clear that every time somebody made a purchase, a KYC was mandated. There is one set of documents, namely the electoral bond application form, KYC documents, citizenship documents, and pay-in slips.
Manoj, there's no issue. We have the details. Please don't
particular-
misunderstand me.
Therefore, you have the details.
No, I have the details. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's not there.
One minute, Mrs. Salve. Now, paragraph 10, you specifically say that all the purchases details have been kept in a sealed cover.
Yes.
In the main branch of the applicant bank.
Correct, Manoj.
Just have to simply open up the sealed cover and
Manoj,
collate the names and give the details.
Manoj,
As far
what
as
is...
paragraph 11 is concerned, you're saying that the Dhoni's details are being kept in a sealed cover, envelope in a sealed cover. Open up the sealed cover and give the details. In fact,
Tell Manoj where the only bit of information...
if I'm not mistaken, the EC was asked to file an affidavit, which you, in a sealed affidavit or details in a sealed envelope, which we have not opened. With regard to the donor details and other details during the course of hearing, which they may have filed.
Manoj, my problem is this, Manoj. With respect, in fact, just responding to what my lord has said, I have full details of who purchased the bond, but that's put in one silo of information. I have full details of where the money came from, which is in a second silo, and I have a complete detail of which political party tendered how many bonds and who has been paid how much. That's a easy ask. That can be given straight away. The problem is, Manoj, I have to now put the name of the purchaser, which is in the first sealed packet, and these are all physically kept. They were not put into the banking system.